Hi guys, this is Carla here again. With a review for episode 4 of season 2 of Scorpion, which was titled Robots. And I have to say, I actually quite liked this episode. Not necessarily because of the plot, because the submarine thing has been done, so I wasn't really expecting much from it. But I like it mainly because it dealt with feelings, and you guys know that if you've been following us for a while, you know that one of my biggest pet peeves when it comes to Walter is the utter and complete denial of the fact that he has feelings, which is very illogical if you ask me. Like, you should understand that what separates us from animals, apart from, the opposable thumb and the ability to make tools, is the fact that we have feelings. And it's one of those things where, and I mean, obviously not just the fact that we have feelings, because animals also have feelings, but mostly the fact that we can make use of these feelings to make decisions. And that is, it's always bothered me that he just flat out denies he has feelings. Dude, everybody has feelings. Come off it. So the whole thing where he actually admits that he's at least a little bit in denial was great for me. Like, that's a breakthrough as far as I'm concerned, because according to him, he can't feel anything. He can't feel fear, he can't feel regret, he can't feel love. So it's great of him to admit that yes, he's a little bit scared, and he's kind of wishing a little bit that he wasn't going to die, even though the odds were kind of against it. So for that fact alone, I love this episode, and mostly because Happy as well. I really like Happy. I liked her arc through season 1. And once again, it's good of her to admit that she has feelings, which, I mean, she does admit that she has feelings, but she tries to cover them up. And it's good to her to actually admit that she sees what she's doing, and that she knows it's something she has to work on, basically. It was also really nice to see her dad again, because he was such a huge part of her arc in the previous season, so it was good to see that they didn't just forget about him. And he was actually useful for the plot. So I really like that idea. Now, about Happy, again, this boyfriend thing, I'm still not entirely sure that it's going to turn out to be a boyfriend. Like, I'm not sure that dating is actually what is happening here. It might be something else. I'm not, 100% on it, but I have my suspicions that it might be something else. But I have to say, it's not necessarily the fact that Happy would find herself dating someone after the Toby thing, because while I ship them, I understand that maybe she's not ready, and maybe Toby's just too close and she just can't afford to lose him, while dating another guy wouldn't hit her as hard necessarily if it all goes down the drain. But I have to say, I still don't buy the whole thing where she just started hanging out with this dude for whatever reason without actually telling anyone about him. Particularly us as an audience. Like, I think there are some things you can hide from the audience when it makes sense, but at the same time, there are some things where it just feels like you're dragging it on, and that's what it feels like this way. Like, if they had told me after this episode that Happy suddenly started dating Navy dude, I would have been all up for that, because I thought they had chemistry, and we saw them meet, we saw them develop some kind of bond, because being trapped in a submarine about to die will make you share a bond with people who are similarly trapped in a submarine and about to die. So I think if they had told me today, oh, Happy suddenly dating this guy, I would have been up for that. What I don't like is the other option, what's happening, where Happy's apparently seeing this guy telling nobody about it, and then throwing it in Toby's face just because she can't. Basically, I mean, obviously she doesn't see it that way, but I do think it's a little insensitive of her to just bring the dude around, given that her thing with Toby isn't necessarily clear. I mean, at no point we've heard her say, "Look, dude, it's over, it's never gonna happen, get over me." You know, it's kind of hanging, and I don't like that aspect of it, especially for some dude we just know nothing about. So that's kind of my point of view on that. And talking about Navy guy, I really liked him. I hope he comes back. I know it's probably a lot to ask because a lot of one-off characters in this show I wish could come back and then they never do. But Navy guy, I liked him. He's cool. And just, I don't know, this episode was pretty neat in the sense that even though the submarine escape was a thing, it still focused more on the personal stories. Like the Paige and Ray thing. Okay, I still think she shouldn't have allowed him to stay because, really, dude, you couldn't take him to one of your apartments or something? Does he have to live in the garage? But, yeah, I mean, I like that Ray is still around. He's not necessarily helping with the cases, but he's still around. And I like that he's an extreme even for Paige, because this whole show has been all about, like, geniuses versus normal people and how one has to deal with the other. But then you realize that there's another extreme, which is, like, people who are the exact opposite of geniuses, like, really low IQ people who might be very annoying, and just, you know, it's even kind of hard for Paige, who's a normal person, to interact with Ray because she feels superior to him in a way. And I mean, she started off that way. Obviously she's not arrogant about it, but she knows that, you know, he's just some dude who lives in a car, and you know, you tend to see yourself as better than those people, not necessarily because you think you're superior to anyone, but just because, you know, you have a stable job and a stable life and stable friends and stability. It's a big thing. And I like that Paige is now, like, starting to see the good side of Ray too, because I do think that Ray has a lot to add to the show, just giving Walter somebody that he doesn't have to think so much around. Because even with Paige, who's not a genius, but is normal, but he feels something for her, so sometimes it's kind of hard to know how to act around her. With Ray, that doesn't matter. And I really like that fact. New woman, what's her name? Collins, was it? The sub-director of Homeland. I like her. She's a little shaky. I mean, I thought in her first scene, I just thought this woman is way too nervous to actually be, you know, second in command at Homeland. That's kind of, I don't know, I don't think people who are that shaky actually get to those levels, but I'll buy it, and I totally buy that Molina's just like, I don't even want to see their faces anymore. So that was interesting. I'm glad they didn't fire Cabe, because that's been done, like I said in my last review. And I mean, even the science aspect of it, I thought was pretty cool, although I think they kind of forgot about their main ordeals like halfway through, because, you know, when Cabe was, when they were building the life vest, the life waterproof thingy for Cabe to actually float onto the surface, they were like, you only have 10 minutes before hypothermia set in. Meanwhile, they're like 45 minutes down in the submarine with the compartment half flooded, and nobody's even given a thought to hypothermia. So that's kind of, you know, fail there, but whatever, I'll buy it. I also really liked that the sub guys kind of solve the problem by themselves, because if Toby suddenly came up with an idea to build a machine and get them out of there, that wouldn't have been believable, because Toby's really smart, but mechanics is not his thing. Same with Sylvester. He can do the calculations really fast, but he's not quite a builder, kind of. So I like that everything, even the oxygen tank, sort of came from Happy. So that's pretty cool. Apart from that, I think the only real complaint I have about this episode is that they never really figured out who put the bomb in the communications cable. They don't really know what got them to that point. They went to do a checkup. It turned out to be a trap. They exploded. The sub lost power. And they had to be rescued. And then they never even bothered going back to check who the culprit was. Isn't it funny? They needed geniuses to basically open the box, plug in a cable, and realize, download data. That was all they were needed for. It didn't look like a job for geniuses, but there you have it. But they needed them for that. And then they didn't need them for the subsequent investigation into the explosion. That was kind of off to me. I would have liked to know who the hell it was that trapped them down there. But I don't know. I don't think this is like a 2-part thing, so I doubt that we'll ever know. But that's kind of my main gripe, and also just the fact that the science they kind of forgot halfway through. It's there's no power, but the self-destruct button works. Look, it even has a display. Those kind of little things, of course, bug me, but again, I know that the show a lot of the time just doesn't even try. Things just are written that way just for the shock of it and the impact of it. So sure, I can buy that your countdown display worked even though there was no power in the entire sub. Whatever. But all in all, I thought it was a pretty good episode. Actually, I was surprised because the previous one was okay, but this one I really liked. And I hope they keep focusing on those relationships between people. So I thought it was really neat for an episode about a topic that has already been done to death before. But I don't watch this show for the science. I watch it for the characters. So that's that. So yeah, that's about it for my review. If you guys want to see more Scorpion reviews, just head on over to our website at thegeekypub.com. We have reviews for Scorpion for last season as well as this season, and we also have reviews for other TV shows, movies, books, games. We have a ton of stuff there, so be sure to check it out, and I will see you guys in my next review.